Well, welcome back, and we're continuing to talk about pastoral care and counselling. And last time I mentioned how we might both benefit from and be alert to the challenges with different secular counselling approaches. I've already previously picked up and said, here's something that we could learn from and make use of as we've looked at some of the therapeutic parenting methods, and particularly something called PACE. And I wanted to do something similar this time by talking a bit about CBT. I mentioned it in the last video. CBT is actually probably one of the primary therapeutic methods that's used at the moment, probably one of the most popular ones. The CBT stands for cognitive behavioural therapy. And the idea behind it, as I mentioned before, is really that you look at a whole person and you look at how thoughts, feelings, even physical health are all interrelated. And they link up with each other, and they are affected by the environment around us. So CBT would say that here are the different aspects that there are to us. First of all, there's the cognitive bit, our thinking, how we process things, how we interpret things, what we believe. And then you've got something called, and then the next thing that you've got is our physical nature, our physical health, what we are like, how active we are, how healthy we are. Then you've got how you are behaving, how you are acting, what you are doing. Do you have an active lifestyle? How are you responding to different situations? What are you doing? What are your habits? And then you've got your feelings. And when we think about our emotions, our affections, our passions, what we care about, but also how we respond emotionally to what is happening around us. And as I've said, they're interrelated. So they relate to each other and they relate to the outside world. So our outside environment will directly impact on our cognition, what we think, what we believe, because we'll be interpreting and processing what we see and hear around us, and we will be drawing conclusions. But it will also affect our behaviours and our feelings as we, again, just respond directly. And there's sometimes a direct physical or emotional response to events and environments. The basic, the weather outside gets hot, you physically start to sweat. That can lead to dehydration. And that will start to affect how you act. You're more likely to try and stay still and stay cool. And that might start to affect how you feel as well. If you're feeling sweaty and uncomfortable, you might start to begin to feel irritable, and then that starts to affect our thinking, our cognitive processes as well. So what we're saying with CBT is that what we think And what we believe will affect how we feel and how we behave. If you believe that you are unlovable, that you are in effect an ugly and unlovable person, that is going to affect how you feel. That you are going to feel sad, you're going to feel down and depressed, and it's going to affect how you behave. That might make you more introverted, more likely to withdraw into yourself and into your home, to become isolated, and that will affect your physical health as well if you're not getting out and about. So that's one way in which our thinking and believing affects our behaving and our feeling. As I said, it can work the other way as well. It can work from our physical health through to what we believe and how we feel as well. That sometimes depression follows on from a physical injury, and so you end up in a lot of pain, you struggle to sleep, you become tired and exhausted. Again, you begin to feel down, and that affects how you perceive yourself and how you believe others perceive you as well. Now, I think that this is insightful, it's helpful, it gives us a good bit of what we might consider general revelation or common grace, wisdom. It's kind of common sense, really, isn't it? There's really no surprises in that, and it fits with our experience in life. I think it fits very well with what Scripture tells us about how we are wonderfully, fearfully made, and that sort of complexity that there is to us. I think as well that you can even start to think about what Scripture says, about how we become like our idols, and I think that reads across into this as well. So how would someone who was using CBT approach counselling and therapy? Well, what they are likely to do is they will check up on some of the things, some of the factors. So they will check up on things like your physical health, your exercise, your activity, what you do, and they will look at your physical behaviour. So your physical circumstance, your physiology, your health, and they will look at your behaviours, your actions, and they may start to, at that stage, to make some suggestions about those things. But their aim is to help you with your feelings, help you with your emotions. Is to get your feelings and emotions right. And so their primary focus is going to be on what you believe, on the cognitive bit, on your cognition, what you think and what you believe. And so a big part of CBT is getting somebody to identify their thoughts, their belief and thought patterns, to jot them down. What do they believe about themselves? What do they believe about certain situations? For example, supposing a person is struggling to get out of the house, and they're staying at home all the time, and that's contributing to emotional health issues, then the therapist might ask them, what do you believe will happen if you go out of the house? And there may be all sorts of things that they believe would happen. As soon as I leave the home, the electricity is going to spark off and create a fire. Or as soon as I leave the home, a burglar might come. As soon as I go out and about, people are going to stare at me, people are going to mock me. I might meet somebody dangerous who might attack me. And what you would do is you would list down those thoughts, and then you would start to challenge them. Are they actually true? You would also think about where the thoughts come from, because they may come from direct previous experience. If somebody has experienced a physical assault, then that experience will be informing what they believe will happen when they go out. And then somewhere in there, empathetically of course, there's going to be a challenge. Is what you believe true or not? And that might involve talking it through, getting the person to think through whether or not what they're saying is true. But it also might include doing things. So it might include actually getting the person to go out with you somewhere, so that they experience going out, so that they discover, I've heard that the risks they fear don't happen, or that if any of them do, that actually they are not insurmountable. So you challenge the belief to gradually change behaviour and to change the feeling as well. And that's fascinating, isn't it? Because in a lot of respects, that's probably where we want to be as Christians. We want to be starting to challenge what people believe, and where they've learned to believe lies. There's lies about God, lies about themselves, lies about humanity generally, lies about creation, lies about the future and new creation. And we'll probably talk a bit more about that in a future video. How do we help people to believe truth instead of lies? Now, of course, you will recognise there that CBT will fall short because it doesn't have the gospel. And what some Christian practitioners will do is they will add that in. What does the gospel say about this situation? Because there will be times when we will recognise that the thing that they believe, the thing that is causing the problem, is actually true. And that's where CBT kind of falls short. What do you do then? But that's where the gospel offers different answers.